And hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, the Thursday stream. This is the first stream on this channel, well actually this kind of stream, on this channel this week. I've been streaming a whole bunch throughout the past couple of days, but we didn't have our own official stream like this. So, welcome everybody. Hope you are having a good start, well, good end to the week actually. Let me just do some more lighting corrections here. I think it's all good. Anybody on stream can just confirm to me that the sound is okay, so I can be happy and make sure that you all can hear me properly. So just throw a little yes, it's okay into the chat. I would appreciate that. So I see we have a bunch of people here from Twitch. We have some people, nobody from YouTube, which is fine. So today, what are we going to be doing today? Today's topic, or the actual thing we're going to be trying to do, is talk about AWS CDK pipelines. So, as a lot of things with my streams, it's CDK. So, and specifically, when I talk about CDK pipelines, this actually means that we're going to be doing a bit more deeper, or at least cover a more deeper topic right now. Just let me clear up my screen so I don't have too much clutter. Let me take down my music down a notch. That's fine. And yeah, I think we can get started. So, what are we going to be talking about today? So we're going to be talking about AWS CDK pipelines. Now, what are those things? Let me get some nice lol banner text here. So CDK pipelines. First of all, CDK, or Cloud Development Kit. It's a framework that enables you to deploy your infrastructure as, well, code, right? It uses generic programming languages like JavaScript and TypeScript and Python and Java and C# and F#, and Golang also coming soon. So CDK gives you the ability to use your existing programming skills or your existing tool sets and pipelines and whatever to actually produce your infrastructure as code instead of relying on YAML or JSON or whatever kind of domain-specific language or markup you want to use. So the goal behind CDK was always to kind of take away a lot of the heavy lifting, and you see those things kind of in the way CDK approaches things with a highly opinionated model. So when you create a VPC on CDK, it creates also a bunch of other things along the VPC, including 4 subnets, 2 private, 2 public, and they are basically created with a single line of code, compared to like you're doing things in CloudFormation or Terraform where you have to define much more things. So all the routes, all the internet gateways, and all the things you would require on a VPC. So with that goal in mind, to reduce the requirements, or actually reduce the heavy lifting of our customers, one of the things that CDK came out with is actually a pattern called CDK Pipelines. So why is this important? What are pipelines? What is this you're talking about, Darko? Well, pipelines in this case are basically CI/CD pipelines that will actually deploy your code from a repository to production, right? And this is how your CDK code should actually look like. Your CDK code should be fully deployed, or actually should be deployable through a pipeline. Now, one of the things, how people used to do it, and even how I do it right now, how I deploy my CDK code, I just run CDK deploy, right? Which is quick and dirty and all that fun, all the things. But if we want to do something more, if we want to make it more robust, better, dare I say it, we need to use things such as pipelines to deploy our code properly. So we can actually try to do something like that today. And I'm not going to build CDK pipelines like from vanilla CDK, just building code pipeline and code build and all those things out of the box. I'm actually going to be doing a few things when it comes to the actual CDK pipelines pattern. And this pattern actually enables us to do things with much more ease. And I'll explain as we go along. There's going to be a bunch of code, and I'm actually building this from a blog post. So I am trying to explain to you a blog post, and I'm stealing code from there. So if you do want to follow this along, I will be pasting along the blog post somewhere. It's from my colleague Rico. So let me just hit the paste button on the chat application if I can find it. There we go. Like that. More bam. Perfect. So that's the blog post if you want to check it out. Cool. So let's kick it off. The first requirement you need is you need the CDK to be updated. So the CDK CLI needs to be updated at least to version 1.51. So if I go here on CDK version, I should have 1.62. Yeah, I think this is the latest one. So sudo npm install. Let me just verify if this is the latest one. I believe it is. And this tutorial actually uses TypeScript, so we're going to be using TypeScript in this case. And I also need a GitHub repository. So let me go here and do GitHub like so. Let's create a repo. I'm going to call it CDK-Pipelines. I'm going to make it a private repo because no need to make it public. Create repo, and that's it. So one additional thing I had to do before getting this ready. Why do you just use code commit just out of curiosity? To be honest, I've basically built out this entire. Well, actually, I've been following the demo from this blog post, and they use code GitHub for some reason. I'm not sure if there's an actual reason for using GitHub. I think it's just for the sake of simplicity for everybody. I don't really know. Like I guess this can work with code commit as well. I see no reason for it not to work. So yeah, no specific reason besides just, hey, somebody already did it in GitHub. So hey, so for GitHub, one of the things that you need besides just creating a repository, you also need to get your GitHub token. Right, so to get your GitHub token, basically it's a secret token for developers that you can use to actually interact with GitHub from far away, right? So I have that token, and that token is actually present on Secrets Manager. I put it as a secret, and you have to actually, if you follow the blog post, you have to use the exact secret name, and I will actually go to EU, Europe, Ireland like that. So if I go to secrets, I see that there's a GitHub dash token, and this is the secret that's going to be used on in this build, because it automatically gets that secret. So you don't have to put the secret, and you should never put a secret inside of your source code, no matter what. So let's move on. Let's see, and I'm actually going to be using two accounts here. So I am currently logged into my main account here. So into account that starts with 8. And I'm actually going to open up a second account. I'm going to go to a private window, and I'm going to be using this. And I also need to pick up a password. So I have this thing here, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to go here and do bean stream. I think that's the name. And then the password, I hope this should be it. Bean stream Ming. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Pentraxel. Very cool. Excellent. Cool. We're logging into a secondary account. This is an account that starts with 2 something something, I think. If I go look here, I believe it starts with 282, right? So this is the secondary account. Good evening, Mr. Pentraxel. So this is basically going to be the secondary account being used here. Perfect. If I go to this one, let's go back to this one, and we're going to actually be playing around with a couple of things. So the CDK pipeline will actually create a bunch of things. So the CDK code will create a pipeline that will deploy itself. So it's a self-mutating pipeline. The goal behind today is that we use the CDK pipeline pattern to create a pipeline that will deploy our application, and the application in this case will be a super simple serverless application with a single Lambda function and an API gateway. And we want to use CDK pipelines to actually expand the existing pipeline and deploy our application to multiple accounts. DeAndre, so no reason. I just want to show the ability that you can actually do it multi-account, which is very important. For example, I have a testing account and I have a production account. So I want to deploy something to a testing account. I can also do it from the same pipeline. So we'll actually see how that all works. Cool. Actually, let's get to some coding. I'm not sure how long this will take. I think this may take longer than an hour. You know, my streams are usually up to like 7 o'clock my time, but I think I'm just gonna go until we finish. So hope you stay here. So let's go to repos and let's create a repository called, there is a repository called CDK Pipeline. And I'm gonna, CDK Pipeline, I'm gonna delete that. And I'm gonna clone this empty repository because this is where we're gonna be working at. So if I do git clone, like that, hopefully it should be happening, that's fine. I'm gonna go to CDK pipeline. By the way, if I sound a bit slow, I just ended that presentation a couple of hours ago. I was very hyperactive during that presentation, and it takes things out of you. So when you talk on stage, it's or on virtual stage, it's very exhausting. So let's initialize our CDK application. So CDK init, and I'm gonna be doing all TypeScript. Yeah. So this should be fine. Nothing special here. Now, the couple things we're going to be doing here, we're going to be installing a bunch of modules, like always. We need some default modules, but we're also going to be installing some special modules. I'm going to wait for this to finish. Cool. As you can see, I'm getting a late evening coffee. Okay, so running this command. This command installs the API gateway module, the lambda module, the code pipeline actions module, and the lambda module. Now, actually the lambda types, sorry. So I'm not per se, this is the code pipeline is not the CDK pipelines module, that's coming afterwards. So let's actually install this. And then after this is finished, let's actually do the CDK Pipelines module, because the CDK Pipelines is a separate module in itself. Now, this is this will be a very opinionated way to do things. It has a lot of defaults, so it doesn't do everything like maybe you have thought of it to do. Hey, Marius, hi, welcome to the stream. I just noticed your comment. Sorry for the delay here. Welcome, Marius. I appreciate you coming to every stream. So this installs basically the module, and the module, when you create a pipeline through this module, is very opinionated. It creates pipelines in the way it thinks you should create pipelines. Of course, there are some things you can kind of work with it and make some changes, but it's very opinionated, which is fine, right? So yeah, let's actually, I want to do some coding. So let's have a look. So nothing out of the ordinary here. Let's modify our first piece of code. So if I do vim lib, and then we have CDK pipeline stack, that's fine. We want to do some imports. So how much do we need them? So we need pop like that. We're going to do API gateway, API gateway. Oops. Perfect. Lambda, and then last but not least, it's the path library. So this library is basically the path library from the local path library. So this is basically going to be just reading off this, nothing else. So perfect. Let's do some code. Let's create a lambda function. So const handler equals new lambda dot function, like that. This, let's name it a lambda, and let's do something here. Runtime, this is all pretty straightforward. Lambda runtime. Node.js, this is going to be using 12.x, that should be fine. What else? The handler needs to be handler.handler, like that. And then finally the code part needs to be lambda.code from asset, and then we're going to just get the path dot resolve their name, and then gonna be lambda. Perfect. So this creates a simple lambda function. And last but not least, we need to create a gateway. Did I do something wrong there? Am I missing something? I see an error, so that's why it's, maybe I didn't save. Why are you complaining, sir? Expected where? Oh, do you really expect this? Ah. Good. Now, time for a gateway. Let's create a gateway. So const GW equals API GW dot. I'm going to be using Lambda REST API, and we're going to be doing it like this. And then gateway like this. Like this. Description. Am I doing this correctly? Am I not? Ah, sorry. New. Apologize. Description equals endpoint for a simple Lambda powered web service, like so. And then finally, it's going to be handler. I'm just telling it what's the handler, and because if it has the same name, that's fine. If this would have a different handler, I would define it differently. Cool. Now just one last thing. I want to do this dot output. Actually, this dot. Okay. So I want to define a property. Actually, another property. I think this is called. Now this is where my language skills come into play. I think this is called an interface. So I'm exposing something here. Public read only, and then I'm doing something like this, URL output, and it's going to be CFN output, right? So it's basically an an output, really not CFN output, but it's core.cfn output, like that. Oh, sorry, CDK.cfn output. So I'm creating this interface, I believe it's called, and I'm going to be exposing this as part of a stack. So to create basically this, I can do this dot URL output, and I'm going to define this as new CFN output dot actually this, and then call it URL, like so, and just give it a value of value equals gateway.url. So I'm getting just the URL of the gateway here, and that's it. So this should be perfectly fine. Did I close everything correctly here? Yeah, this seems good. If I cdk.cfn. Cool. So this is a simple stack that creates a Lambda function and an API gateway that serves our application. So this is not the big thing, right? This is simple. This is something that's going to be running our Lambda function. Yeah, speaking of that Lambda function, let's actually create a Lambda function. And I'm going to actually be creating a Lambda function in TypeScript. Why am I doing it in TypeScript? Well, actually, why is the example doing it in TypeScript? Just to show you the ability how you can actually compile Lambda functions from TypeScript to JavaScript. So let's go ahead, and I want to do something here. I need a directory called cdlib mkdir lambda. Perfect. If I do edit lib lambda, and I'm going to be calling it handler.ts. I'm just plopping in this code. This basically code is gonna compile my Lambda function into a proper JavaScript Lambda function. Conpol, thank you for the follow. Cool. So this is a basic CDK application, that just serves a hello world example from Lambda. Now, the first thing we have to do right now is we need to create a proper pipeline, right? So the first thing we need to do on the pipeline is actually define our own stage, right? So let's actually create a new file, edit lib, and we're going to be calling it, what is it called? CDK-pipelines .demo.stage.ts. Is that the correct thing? I'm looking at the sample code here. Yeah, this is good. Perfect. So let's actually import a bunch of things. So import, I'm going to be doing import star as CDK, import star as CDK from at AWS CDK core. This one. Perfect. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm also going to import something from an additional file. I want to import CDK pipeline stack, the stack we've created just right now, the before, from. I just do it like this and call it CDK pipeline stack. So perfect. It's going to be importing that from here. Close this off, and let's create a new class. Export a new class. Basically, export like that class. It's going to be called CDK Pipelines. Pipelines demo stage. We're going to extend the stage part, right? Of the core stack, right? Extends CDK.stage. And this is where we actually do some content. Again, we need to define an interface, right? Public, read-only. We're going to be using the URL output, the same like before, and it's going to be a CFN. Actually, it's going to be CDK.cfn output. Perfect. And that should be fine. And then let's make a constructor. Constructor, it's going to be scope. It's going to be construct like so. ID is going to be a type of string, and then properties are optional, and they can be of type stage props, or they're going to be actually cdk.stage props, like so. Now, what is a CDK stage? So this is something I don't know. I have not checked out what a stage is. So can we have a look at that? CDK, no, that. Let's see, CDK stage. Okay, take a bit. AWS CDK stage. Class stage. What is a class stage? So, thank you, RMZG Jesus, for the follow. A bunch of follows today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Wow. You can insert a subclass of stages. So this okay. So this has something to do with the environments. Okay. So AWS environment, stack, stages. So this is something new. I have not used stages before too much, and today actually we're going to be doing some environments and stages. So that's also a relatively new thing for me in CDK, which I have not played around too much. So yeah, this is fun. Okay. Let's not get it too deep into it right now. So super scope, ID, and props, like so. And this should be fine, right? Not region, oops, public, private, no, private. CDK.construct. All right, not private, read only. Okay, let's define some code. The code here is going to be const, and it's going to be service. And it's basically going to be a new CDK pipelines, but not demo stage, pipelines, CDK pipeline stack, this web service. We're going to give it a name called web service. Now, what is this? I'm basically using this as a stage. What this piece of code will do for us is it will actually deploy the exact same stack. So this stack, the one that actually defines our lambda functions. So it will deploy this exact stack in a stage. And what that means in the sense of a pipeline, it will actually, like if you want to do a staging stage or a production stage, it will deploy those things to that one. So it says, hey, deploy this service to a stage, and we'll implement the stages as we go along. And just to expose the final thing, I can do this.url output equals new.cdk pipelines, new service dot, is this URL output? Yes. So as you can see, the URL output here is actually being taken from the other stack. It's URL output. That's it. So CFN output has no construct signatures. What did this constructible new? Oh, it's not new. Okay, sorry, it's not new. Okay, perfect. So we're going to be using this later on. Now, let's actually create a pipeline stack right now. So this is where a bit more code comes into. Let me just yank this line here, like so, and let's edit a file called CDK lib CDK pipelines. Not going to be demo stage, it's going to be demo pipeline stack. Perfect. So I'm going to import core, but I also need a few things. I need code pipeline. Code pipe, like so. AWS code pipeline. And I can actually just do this and code pipeline because I need actions, like so. And I can do code pipeline actions. Perfect. I also need something now. I need to import specific modules from the pipelines module. So import, I'm going to be doing CDK pipeline and simple synth action. Now, simple synth action is something new. It's something new coming from the latest versions of CDK. This has something to do with the way you bootstrap things. I'm not really clear on what it is. So you don't have to do this unless you're using CDK pipelines. So the latest version of bootstrapping or the latest version or simple synthing is not required unless you're using these things. And I'll explain as we get to that. So from at AWS CDK pipelines, like so. This should be fine. Perfect. Okay, export class is going to be CDK pipeline. A simple synth, yeah. So simple synth is something different. Let me actually show this to you. So it's something new. So AWS CDK simple synth. So this is something when it comes to synthesizing your application. So it's not very well documented. That's kind of a thing. It only is used currently with CDK pipelines. So let me see if I can find it on the documentation. They mention it in one place. So I think it's on the bootstrapping. Yes, it's on the bootstrapping. So there is this, yeah. So the synthesizers, right? So if you set the new stack synthesis, this is basically a new feature flag that uses the new default synthesizer, which is currently not being enforced. Otherwise, you're using like the default synthesizer, right? The new synthesizer apparently supports being deployed using assets, and this will create like an S3 bucket where it stores some assets. And if you have a large CloudFormation file, so if you run into a problem where you want to generate a massive CDK, well, actually have a massive CDK stack or application that generates this huge CloudFormation file, you would need to use the new style stack synthesis. Now, what are the exact differences? I don't really know. So yeah, I will see. So it says here, AWS CDK supports 2 bootstrap templates. At the time of writing, CDK is transitioning from one of these templates to the other, but the original template .legacy is still the default. The newer template modern is required by CDK pipelines, and now it will become the default at some point in the future. That's it. And when it comes to bootstrapping templates, and here are some differences, right? The feature. You can do cross-account deployments with the new type of bootstrapping, so that's very important. And you can define specific CloudFormation permissions, which we're going to be doing. Versions of bootstrap stacks, and this is what it creates. It creates a bucket, KMS key, some IAM roles, an ECR repository, and you can even do SSM parameters. So there's some additional features to the bootstrap, so it does a bunch of other things. It's really cool. I do think this is gonna be changing in the future. So and Gail God, today we're gonna be deploying cross accounts, so that's a very neat feature. So okay, so CDK pipelines, pipelines. We can do this one. Pipelines, demo pipeline stack extends cdk.stack like so. Close this off, and then what do we need? Let's do constructors. Constructor, it's going to be scope, it's going to be cdk.construct, id is going to be type of string, and then props are going to be, again, props are going to be optional, and they're going to be type of cdk.stack props. This lesson is brought to you by somebody who doesn't understand TypeScript, so please do excuse my ignorance here. Super, scope, ID, and props. So is there anybody in the chat who's like a massive user of TypeScript or JavaScript, or like do it at your in your day-to-day job? I really would like to hear, maybe somebody can explain some things to me as well. You are. God, are you using TypeScript and JavaScript in your main job? I mean, besides CDK. Okay, so what is line 9? What is super? What am I doing here? What is this thing? I could have Googled this, right? But it's always nice to chat with you. So I get the constructor and what I'm doing, defining a construct here and the class. I get that, but what is super? Okay. Ah. Code pipeline dot artifact. Ah, I got it. Oh, okay, fair point. Thank you. So here I'm actually creating some artifacts, right? Oh, this is a subclass. Okay, fair point. Okay. Const, and this is going to be a cloud assembly artifact. It's going to be new code pipeline dot artifact. So code pipeline artifacts are just objects we're going to be using later on to actually pass things to it. Now, here's where the CDK pipelines become. So here is where CDK pipelines be. So let's create a pipeline. Const pipeline equals new CDK pipeline, like so. This, call it pipeline, and then let's define some parameters. And there's a bunch of things you can define here, right? So what is this? No, that's fine. So what we need to define, I need to define a pipeline name. And well, I don't need to, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to call it my service pipeline. And then just define the artifact, right? That's fine. Like so. Now let's actually do some actions. So let's do source action. And the source action in this case is going to be a new code pipeline actions.github source action. And basically this is where I'm going to be pointing my pipeline to GitHub. To do this, I'm going to do action name. It's going to be GitHub. So let me close this off because I should. Like so. Action name is GitHub, and then comma, and then output is going to be the source artifact. This is the artifact we defined above. Now, OAuth token. To interact with GitHub, you need to define an OAuth token. It's the token I've got myself. I haven't showed you how to do it, but basically it's from GitHub settings. You can get this OAuth token well, actually, let me show it to you. So you go here and you go to, where is it? Settings. Or it may ask me for a password, but if I go to developer settings, personal access tokens, this is where I can request a token, right? I can click generate new token, and I want to define it. Ask me for a password, right? So it will ask me what kind of scopes do I want. Like I for this thing I need repo, and I need admin. I think admin hook. This is the one. I think this is the one. It's defined in the document as well. So I do these things and generate a token and basically get that token string. Now instead of pasting that token string here, which you should not do, I have it actually in AWS Secrets Manager. So I can do secret value dot secrets manager. Did I get this one? Yeah, oh, actually secret value. No. CDK dot secret value dot it's secrets manager. See, CDK has it built in so you can reach out to secrets manager and then get GitHub that token. So this will, in essence, pull this secret token from Secrets Manager. So if you ever found it very difficult to get things from Secrets Manager, it's not in CDK. It's basically built in. So amazing. Owner, the owner is actually me, Darko Mesaros, and the repo. Repo is gonna be. How did I call my repo? I already forgot. So GitHub. Yeah, you need permissions to access Secrets Manager, absolutely. So CDK-pipelines. CDK. So your account that I'm running this off of, it has to have permissions to do something with Secrets Manager to access this. Otherwise, you know, it will not be able to synthesize this thing. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's not going to be even doing my account. The account which my CloudFormation is being launched as. Now, I'm actually going to launch my CloudFormation as an admin, so that's fine, right? So, no. I think even here, I think it's going to be passed as just a reference to the Secrets Manager. I don't think it's going to be, because if I recall correctly, Code Build, or actually Code Pipeline, doesn't support Secrets Manager to pull things from Secrets Manager unless that has changed, right? So what this should do, in essence, it should basically get this secrets value from the Secrets Manager during the deployment of the CloudFormation template, I think. But we'll check it out as soon as we do it. So let's do it like that. Okay, this creates our source action. One of the things we need here is a synth action. Now, a synth action in this case would be just a synthesis of compiling the lambda. This is why we wrote our lambda function in TypeScript. We're gonna basically compile our lambda function. Oh, there is a lag in chat. Sorry, Mr. Pendrexel. So synth action. Let's do it like this. CDK dots. No, actually no. Simple synth action. Simple synth action. Like that. Yeah. And it's standard npm synth. So this is part of the CDK Pipelines thing. Let's close that off. And let's do this. And let's do a bunch of things here. So we need source artifact like that. And then we need cloud assembly artifact. And then the build command is basically just npm run build. So we're passing the source artifact, the cloud assembly artifact, and we're also passing the build command here. Cool. This would be it. So here we would add more application stages. So here we add application stages. We won't do that right now. We'll get to that, right? So let me actually just have a look here. Now it's time for us to edit the bin file and make some changes here, right? So we import like that. I don't need to import app. I need to import CDK pipeline stack. That's fine. And finally, I am going to create a new pipeline stack, but I'm going to do it a bit differently. I'm going to actually define an environment. So CDK pipelines just looks fine. I'm going to do it like this and this and that, and then this, and then define an environment, and equals, and basically this is where you define which account you're going to run into. So account, the account is going to be, I have that somewhere written on my laptop because I always forget, AWS, and I can do cat accounts. Okay, this is the ones I'm going to be using because I've been looking these things up too often, like that. And then the region is going to be EU West 1, and this should be fine. Once I do this, I'll just do an app synth. So app synth like that. Perfect. Last thing we are missing is actually that new style stack synthesis. So if I do cdk.json, and this is where you would add the thing. So I would basically just add another string here. It's going to be at AWS CDK. It's going to be core new new style synthesis. Does that look good? Stack synthesis, actually. New style stack synthesis. And the problem is, since I've done this once, now I have to do it for every stack I do because my region is bootstrapped to this new style thing. So if I save this and like that, save it. So I think this should be for no, it's core. It should be core. Oh, correct. Thank you, Gilgad. Core. Thank you. New style stack synthesis. Perfect. This looks good. So if I go back to repo CDK pipelines like so, and now I can bootstrap my account. If you have never bootstrapped your account, that actually, if you're doing this for the first time, you have to bootstrap your account with a new setup. So CDK bootstrap, like so. Profile, like that. Profile. I'm gonna be using the default profile here. So basically my AWS profile. I'm gonna be using the default one because the default uses my main AWS account. Then I have to do this. This is a new thing. CloudFormation. Execution. Policies. This tells under which policy should this be executed under CloudFormation. So instead of it running like myself, I'm gonna tell this to run as an administrator. So ARN, actually ARN dot column AWS, column IAM, column again AWS policy, and the policy is called administrator access, right? Perfect. And then last but not least is the name of the profile. And the names of the profiles are basically looking like this. The account ID, so the account number actually, like so. And then the region, EU West 1. Profile default, CloudFormation execution policy. Execution policies. This looks good. Let's try if this works. So it's using a new style bootstrapping. It will tell you here, hey, using a new style bootstrapping, it will use this execution policy and it creates a bunch of different things. Now, because I already done this, there should not be a lot of things here created, but it will create IAM roles, KMS keys, SSM versioning, I believe. It should do buckets, a few additional things. And we'll see how this works as we go along. Update failed. Administrator access is not valid. Did I write administrator access? Ah, I see my problem. I see the problem. Okay, let this roll back. I am missing something. So if I go here and then like that, and then it's between this one and yeah, this one, I'm missing another one. There we go. Oh, ARNs. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, it has been bootstrapped. No changes happen. Amazing. Excellent. So we can continue with this one. So how to provision the pipeline? First of all, let's actually add our code to the pipeline. So git add.a, let's add that, and then git commit m, let's call it init of empty pipeline. Git push. That's it, right? This should work. Well, not exactly. So we need to do more things. We need to do an additional thing here, and that additional thing is we need to do one-time deploy of CDK. So if I would be doing it, CDK deploy profile default. I don't have to define this, but let's for the sake of consistency, and let's give it a name. CDK. What's the name of our stack? It's the CDK Pipelines. CDK Pipeline stack. CDK Pipelines stack. No, CDK Pipelines demo. Really? I made a mistake here. Let me just change this name. CDK Pipelines, a demo pipeline stack. Demo pipeline stack. Okay, just want to make sure I'm consistent with this thing. So and actually, yes, that's the point. I did not import the correct one. So demo pipeline stack from CDK, delete word, CDK undo. Whoops. This one. CDK pipelines demo pipeline stack. CDK pipeline, lowercase. Okay. CDK pipeline. What is the name of the stack we want to deploy? CDK pipeline. CDK pipelines. Demo pipeline stack. Now you don't have to define it here. It should run the default one, but I like to define it here so I know what I'm deploying. So it's not deploy. It's not delo. It's deploy. Okay. Let's see if this will work. So this is something you have to run just once. I'm going to basically be deploying the initial stack. So it's going to be deploying an initial empty pipeline. And every time I want to update this pipeline itself, I just need to commit these things to GitHub. And that's it. So let's see how it works. Creates a change set, again, like anything in CDK, and we can actually go to CloudFormation. I want to see what does it do. So CloudFormation, and somebody's messaging me. Who is messaging me? Okay. Screening stack, 18 resources, and you can see CDK pipelines demo stack. Perfect. What is going to be creating here? What does it say? Well, a bunch of roles, of course, and I mean, if CDK was only like just creating permissions, or if a tool just existed to create permissions like CDK does, that's all CDK is needed for, at least. So I'm very happy about that. Okay, so it's going to creating a bunch of other things. So what are the resources here? Permissions, KMS keys, of course, because encrypt everything, right? How does Werner Vogel says, dance like nobody's watching, encrypt like everybody is, right? Okay, some buckets. Oh, well, this may fail. Will this fail? I hope not. I sometimes tend to reach the limit of the amount of buckets I can have in my account, so. And the buckets are not deleted when you delete your stacks, because persistence of persistent storage. Let's see. Oh, this is just the key. All right, fine. Pipeline stack, all the things. Let's give it a moment. So how's everybody doing in chat? Are you all good? Had a good week? Had a busy week? Any good conferences I should try to attend or try to speak at? Anybody can recommend something? That's also one of the parts of my job. I'm speaking at conferences, so I'm always on the lookout for good events. Today I had a really great event in Romania. So, well, in Romania, it was virtual, but yeah, Romanian organizers. Oh, instances that have been hardened. Did you use anything specifically to harden those instances, or did you do it manually? I know that the CIS, or Center for Internet Security, they have some great hardening tools and auditing for those kind of things. Love golden AMIs. Ooh. And Mr. Pentexel, how do you build golden AMIs? Do you use the image builder, or do you use the Packer / lambda solution? There is something like that. Yeah, CIS benchmarks. I've been using those things way back when. So I used to do a lot of things with Chef, and Chef has a really lovely tool called Inspec. And Inspec is basically an auditing tool, and it can take those Inspec profiles from CIS, and they basically run hardening or security benchmarks. Yeah. Oh, so code pipeline with Packer, and that works really good, I must say. It's not an out-of-the-box solution, hence the AC2 image builder, but it works great. The Packer is a really nice tool. Never used it myself personally for anything, but I've seen how it looks. I like the syntax Packer uses. It's just so nice. Excellent. We have created a pipeline. All right, so going back to this thing, let's go to code pipeline. We will see a my service pipeline. As you can see, this is the pipeline we have created here. Run inspector with custom CIS template. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, you can use AWS inspector, right? Or Amazon inspector. So the source and the build, right? Basically it builds a code from your repository, right? And it's going to be updating the pipeline. So this section of the pipeline is actually the self-mutating section. This is where the magic happens. This is where the pipeline actually changes itself. And I know it sounds weird. And for me, even before, when I was thinking like, oh, a pipeline changing itself, oh, is that good? But yeah, this is how it works. Basically now with this pipeline we go through, it will build the code and it will change itself. But yeah, we have nothing deployed. There is no application. We've basically just created a pipeline, right? So we just have a pipeline here, and that's it. This is the only stack we're creating. And even if you look at the CDK Pipelines demo stack, which is this one, right? There's nothing here. It's kind of the pipelines, yeah. It's self-conscious pipelines. So this pipeline, this is the stack we're creating, right? So this is the thing we're launching. It just has a pipeline, nothing else. How do we add applications to this thing, right? How do we actually modify it or add the stages like development and production here, right? How do we do this? So it's actually part of the pipelines, but we're going to be doing something here. So if I go here, let's actually modify something. So let's import one more thing. So I need to import CDK pipeline, one of the stacks we've created before, pipeline demo stage, right? From our file, which is contained in CDK Pipelines demo stage. This is the file we're going to be using. Basically, we're importing this construct, right? This class from this file. So to define a pipeline, we can do like this: pipeline dot add application stage, right? New CDK pipeline demo stage, yeah, and call it like this pre-prod, pre-prod. Let me just close this off. Or bam. And then last but not least, we need to just add the environment here. And I'm actually just going to copy this entire thing. Bam. Am I missing something? Yes, I am. Cool. So, yeah, so I'm basically deploying here. So currently it's gonna fail update pipeline because there's nothing, right? So that's fine. But so what's gonna happen right now is I'm adding an application stage. I'm adding a completely application stage. Basically, what I'm doing here is I am creating I'm launching a stack from this CDK Pipelines demo stage. And CDK Pipelines demo stage is this one, right? And this is basically a stage or an extension to our CDK stage of that original stack we wrote, right? That's it. So if I do this, save, and go here and get actually npm run build, because there's no CDK command here. So I need to do npm run build. And I need to do CDK, actually git commit am add test to preprod, that's fine. Git push. Now, if I did everything correctly here, this should actually push to GitHub, and it will trigger the pipeline once again to actually build itself. It should expand. It should actually finish this, I think. This should work. I'm not sure why this failed. I think it's okay to fail for the first time, right? So yes, you can. Mr. Pentraxer, you can, absolutely. So you can, and usually it boils down to from lookup, using methods called from lookup, where you will look up existing resources based on their names, ARNs, or whatever. And then you can basically create an object. So if you would do like a VPC, instead of creating a new VPC, you will do const VPC equals new ec2.vpc.from lookup or something like that, and then you define parameters of that VPC. So if that VPC exists, it will basically reference it as that object. That's how you can do it. But I'm not doing that right now. So I'm creating everything from scratch. The thing is that this pipeline itself, the CDK Pipelines service, helps me define all these things. So if I can do this all without the CDK Pipelines pattern, right, the module, I can do this all manually, but it's much more complicated to do. Here it takes much less code, right? Okay, it's updating the pipeline. Let's have a look at the details here, what it's going to do. So, okay, installs the npm install, it runs the deploy, CK deploy, that's fine. Creating a change set, so you can do like a verbose as well, so you'll see a bunch of different commands coming out, see, all of these things. It's creating the stack, it should be updated in progress. This stack in itself now should be updated in progress, and hopefully, yeah, see, we're getting new resources. We're going to be getting new parts of our pipeline, right? So it's still waiting for this one, right? So okay. Currently pipeline assets, so there's a bunch of roles being created. Like these roles, man, creating all these things manually. Does CDK and AWS CLI use similar naming conventions? What do you mean when it comes to naming conventions? Do you mean like services or commands or what? Okay. Well, to an extent, right? I think it mostly follows the API part, and the API and they are library names are the same, right? That's the thing. But it depends which language you're using. You know, sometimes the Python ones look differently because of like camel notation and non-camel notation. But in general, it's the same thing, right? properties should also be the same. I think properties should always look the same no matter which language you're using. And as for the CLI, I mean, roughly the same. The CLI has more abstractions to the API, while CDK is more closer to the API. Yeah, but I mean, you should be able to easily do anything in CDK that you do it on the CLI. Well, actually, with even much more ease on CDK. So this is still happening. Yeah, it takes a moment. So. Today, I bought some video games, but not any video games. I bought video games. I bought me some Super Nintendo games, right? So I've dug up my old SNES and from the grave, and I made it work. It was a bit busted, and I've yeah, bought a bunch of games. So now I am enjoying myself in the off time, and I have it all connected here to this old Commodore monitor. And yeah, you know, during work hours when I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna chill a bit, and I just turn around, I'll turn on my Nintendo, and yeah. So I got I already had Mario World and Yoshi's Island. I got Super Mario All Stars, right? So this is one of the things I used to play a lot as a kid because it had like 5 games, Mario 1, Secret Levels, Mario 2, Mario 3, actually 4 Super Mario games in one. And I got the NBA Jam. This is my first ever sports game. And I got the Donkey Kong Country 2. Yeah. There's a company in Germany called Konsolenkost or something like that. Basically, it's a company that sells old consoles. And I mean, these things are not cheap, right? So depending on the cartridges, like the NBA Jam was cheaper and it was like 20 euros. And the Donkey Kong Country was 40 euros. So it's not cheap games, but hey, you know, you get this once and you have it forever. So, okay, so this is completed. It's in the shoe. Is it in the shoes? Yeah. yeah. Oh man. NBA Jam was a thing. Like I was a kid like it back in 1997 or whenever I played this game. It was just, oh man, so good. Look at this now. Our pipeline has changed. So it's currently building. There's new, 2 new sections like assets, where basically we can store our file assets, and we have pre-prod, and pre-prod is gonna actually gonna be deploying our application. So this is really cool. For my working day, I need something like FPS, Warzone, or Counter-Strike. Well, you know, I basically just turn around, get my monitor like this, turn that, and then, you know, fire up some Nintendo. Now, my Nintendo is a bit sketchy. It doesn't work all the time because, oh, it works now. You can hear the music. So it doesn't work all the time because I think there's a problem with the Nintendo's electronics. There's a solder joint. There's a solder joint issue somewhere on the Nintendo, so I need to open it up and go through to the dry solder joint. So I need to fix it. But yeah, I get my Super Nintendo and just you know, play some video games. But yeah, it's fun, I must say. Okay, so it's deploying assets. It is self-mutate. There are no self-mutates now because we have not changed anything. And you can see that it created an assets. Basically, it's an assets. It's an asset stage, but in essence, it uses code build. And in this case, code builds. I really wonder what code build does here. So it does npm install CDK assets. Okay, and CDK assets. It basically uploads things to S3 and gets things from S3. That's it. And it all uses AWS code build because code build is this wonderful glue that you can use in all of your pipelines for all the things. But yeah, okay, still working. I want to get to the stage where we deploy it to a different account. So this is going to be deploying in pre-prod. So what happens right now is going to be creating a CloudFormation change set, and this is going to happen in this same account here. If I refresh this, you see that the pre-prod web service is being created right now. Now, while this is happening, let's actually bootstrap a different account. So I'm gonna go here and run the same command as before. So I need my AWS and cat accounts. I need this number. What is that link, Mr. Pentrexel? Oh yeah, the famous. So when I first seen this, like as a young lad back in 2009, oh man, I love this. I'm like, I hated the person on the other side, but like, imagine this, like playing video games while doing your job. Love that. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can also see the big black box on the screen. It's because of my camera most likely. So I change this thing to 60. Oh, it's better. See? Is there anything else I can change on that part? Can it be better? Like that. Aha! 50 frames per second, but I'm also much brighter right now. Yeah, so you can see the screen here. So restart. I'll let that be as my background noise. So, okay, let's bootstrap. We need to bootstrap the different account. This account we're going to be bootstrapping is going to be used for our production. So we're going to be using a completely different account for production. And we're all going to be deploying it from the staging account. So, CDK Bootstrap. Let's go. Profile. I'm going to be using a different profile. And the profile here is stream. This profile here has permissions to that secondary account. And this is the beauty of it. Trust, and then I do this, define the first account, like so, and then the same thing, cloudformation, execution, ARN, AWS, IAM, double, AWS, is it like that? Yeah. Policy, administrator access, like so, and then they do like this, AWS, backslash, and let's do the other account. So, and then which region are we going to be doing it? Anybody can suggest a region? Hopefully where this is available. EU Central 1, okay. That's fine, that's fine. It's my region as well, I'm in Germany, so this looks good. So I'm basically telling this during the bootstrap that I want to trust account 1. It creates all the IAM policies and requirements that it trusts the first account, right? Do you see? Okay, I wasn't sure if I hear the sound from this game or not. So once I do this, it will bootstrap the other account in that region with the profile stream, and it also is going to trust the first account. So it creates all the things that I need to introduce trusts between accounts so that I can take from account 1 and deploy to account 2. So we're going to be doing this. Do you have any Amazonians on the stream? Oh, Anna is here. Anna Cunha is my colleague. Anna, you're based in Brazil, right? Or if I recall correctly, but you're also doing the same thing I'm doing. You're a developer advocate. Yeah. Is this how AWS organizations work? Well, yeah, you create a bunch of trust between different organizations, but I don't think they're doing it through CDK like I'm doing it right here. So, but yeah. Oh, Anna, yes, Anna is my colleague from Sao Paulo. Bom dia, that's the only part of Portuguese I know, and also some bad words, but I'm not going to get into that. Bom dia, and she's also a developer advocate as myself. Yeah, so welcome, Anna. Thank you for following the stream. I usually don't get people from AWS this late in my workday, so Thank you. So, nothing happening here. Oh, yes. Okay, we confirm that the pre-prod, the actual production application has deployed. And if I go to outputs to my production website, I will be able to see my application. Ooh, hello from a lambda function. Where we go. We have deployed our pre-production lambda function. Amazing, right? Now, once this is completed, I'm going to be deploying the same application into the production account. So that other account. How to do that? I'm glad you asked. Well, bam. I'm going to call it prod. And I'm going to be doing EU, what did you say? EU central 1. And then I need to delete this one, get the account number. And then, well, bam. Perfect. So I'm just waiting for this to bootstrap because I want to make sure that this should work. It should work. So save it. Go here. Actually, go here. Go here. Git commit add prod git push. Now this should finish before this other one gets to it. Hopefully. I'm banking on eventual consistency and the race condition here, but yeah, let's see. Is the game start? Okay. Okay. Perfect. So this has been deployed, and if we look here again, it's going to be triggering the entire pipeline here, and the pipeline is again going to update itself. So it's going to add a new stage called prod, and it's going to have this basically the same thing as pre-prod. So let me close this actually like that. This one should be bootstrapped. Perfect. We have bootstrapped the new account, the other account. So, and if I go to the other browser where I'm logged into the other account here, if I go to CloudFormation, right? Not that one. I'm gonna go to Frankfurt. And you can see the CDK toolkit. So this is basically the CDK toolkit stack that was generated right now with all the resources, you know, like IAM roles, ECR repositories, KMS keys, and all the stuff we need. So yeah, perfect. Back to this thing. Actually, no, this thing. I want to see it being deployed. So it's updating the pipeline right now. So the pipeline itself should update by creating this thing, and we should get a new new section. That's how it's called. A new section that's going to be prod. So let's give it a moment or so for this to. Oh, 1 hour and a half has passed. Wow. Okay. This has been a fun stream. It goes super fast. Updating pipeline. If I go to the CloudFormation, I should see the pipeline being updated, I think. No? It is finished. Or it has not triggered it yet. Oh, it has failed. Why did it fail? Did I do something bad in my code? Oh, I most likely have broken my code. Let's see. Cross regions, no bootstrap stack found. Did I? What did I do? So It's broken something. So CDK stack name, CDK toolkit. Okay, this could have been just eventual consistency. So let me actually try to rerun this again, because it might not have picked it. I may have run this thing sooner than I thought. Let's try to release it again and see what happens. I'm gonna definitely watch this website is down. For those of you who do not know, the link sent by Mr. Pintrexel is a 10-year-old-ish, a bit more, video of a system admin versus a sales guy. Like a website is down or something like that. It's amazing. It's great. Love it. I wish there was a higher resolution of this video. So it's in 480p, which was high resolution in 2009. And I really don't know, was that like true what happened or not? Yeah. I used to be a sysadmin for a long time, and you know, dealing with users was very normal. Call you for stupid things, and it was always fun. At least you generate stories from that. And also, working in premium support at AWS, you generate a lot of stories from customers. BUFH? What does BUFH mean? I don't know. $2,000? Wow. Yeah. I started back in 2007. Okay, master operator. Got it. Yeah. I was trying not to be, no, that's fine, I get it. I was trying not to be the bad guy, but sometimes, you know, people would come to you, and like, I used to work in a government office. I used to work in the local municipal court where I come from, and as an IT person, and you can imagine working with people who absolutely have nothing to do with IT. Literally, people have been working the same job for years, never touched any IT system in their life. And for them to, you know, understand computers and things was a lot. Oh, I know what's the problem. Do I know it? Yes, I do. npm run build. No. Is it here? npm run build. Did I make this mistake? No, it should be fine. I don't even need to. Why is this failing? Mr. Patrick actually had things similar to that, like the computer was not working. So I always like to explain to people. When I was working in this court, the people working there, and like I'm not blaming them. They're people who never use computers in their life, right? So they would call the monitor the computer, right? The keyboard was part of the computer. The mouse was part of the computer, but the computer case, that was the brain. So many times, like, they would call me, my computer doesn't work, and it turns out they turned on the monitor, but not the brain, and it just doesn't work, right? And it was like, Darko, you need to come here immediately. I am in a crisis moment. You need to fix my computer now. And like, I basically just go and press the button on the desktop, and it works. But hey. Okay, I need to figure out why did this fail. Cross-region stack. CDK Pipelines support EU coaching core stack version 1. But I did bootstrap the stack, right? But why is it trying to bootstrap this account in this region? I don't want to do that. I want to do cross-region. I'm doing it like this. No? I may be doing something wrong, so let me give me a second. This is the application stage, the first stage, that's fine, perfect. Update pipeline. Bootstrap, that's okay. It most likely be because you said EU Central 1. But here's the thing, like, it should not deploy it because it's complaining about the following. So it's saying that, hey, account, like EU Central is not bootstrapped, and that's fair, right? EU Central on 8248 is not bootstrapped because that's the original account. Please run bootstrap, but I'm not trying to do it to that one. I'm trying to do it in a different account. Am I missing something? I'm looking at the blog post right now. See if I'm missing something. This is 1, this is 2. It seems okay. Pre-prod prod. Okay. Let's try to bootstrap the account again. I'm not sure. Like, I really don't know what's happening. So repo CDK Pipelines like that. Let me try to bootstrap this thing again. So profile, trust, and I'm doing it to this account, right? Perfect. I just bang this out. Okay. It's bootstrapped. This account is bootstrapped. That's fine. And I can confirm that if I go to, what is it? This one, I can confirm that there is a stack here that's been created right now, right? UTC plus 2, 1918, right? That's fine. And it has a bunch of version 2 resources. So the bootstrap looks fine. Does this look broken? CDK prod, pre-prod account is this one. Okay. Let me try to get status. There's nothing to do. No changes. npm run build. This shouldn't change a thing because I should not add any of the compile files and get status. Nothing to commit. Okay. Let's dig deeper. This seems fun. So what is this doing? I want to see how is this doing. Deploy running command CDK deploy stack. It uses a default account ID. It should not do that. It should get the account from this one. Oops. Did I type something correctly? Incorrectly? Account region. Is it because of this? Because it tries to deploy this into the main account. That's not good. So git status, git add, actually git commit am like that. Git this worked before. I don't have to delegate it. That's the thing. Like the problem here, the error I'm seeing here is that instead of this trying to deploy to wait, because it's trying to deploy something. Oh, why is it trying to deploy to central? Okay, so no, this is my mistake. I'm doing something wrong here because the error here is actually trying to deploy the pipeline, the pipeline itself. So it seems like it's trying to do this to EU Central 1, and that's not the case. I should not do that. It should not be doing that. It doesn't even reach to this. It doesn't even come to this part. But where is it getting EU Central 1? So what does it do? build, deploy CDK Pipelines demo stack. So this is the CDK Pipelines demo stack, the demo pipeline stack. So it's the entire pipeline stack. It should not do it here. EU West is the region. CDK default account, variable size. Okay, cross region stack, including dependency stacks. Do I have to do that as well? No, this might be actually because of the region choice. Let me try to do a different region in this case. I'm gonna do something like a, actually let me bootstrap this thing. So bootstrap, what are we doing? US East 1. This is a bit fidgety. The entire new bootstrapping thing is a bit fidgety. It sometimes is not doing the best it can. So I did run into an issue where I could have, yeah, exactly. But I don't know why it should try to do it in EU Central 1 at all. So I don't know. Like I really don't know why it's happening. So here's the thing. It's weird. Like it's trying to cross deploy the pipeline stack to EU Central 1, and it should not do that. It should not do that at all, because the pipeline stack, this is only running in EU West. So I'm wondering, did I do some typo here that it's broken? No, it looks fine. Source 2. I really don't know. That's fine. We'll figure this out. It's fun. It's more fun this way. So let's go back to the pipeline. Oh, it has failed again. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to this thing and see if this is finished. I'm gonna be switching it to US East 1. So going back to this account, if I go to US East 1, yeah, it's doing this. Perfect. Okay. But do I have to bootstrap like even my own accounts locally? I don't know. Could be a bug. Maybe we figure something out today. So, but I just want to get this working, and I want to not take away all of your evening. So this is being done. Creating a bunch of things. Correct. So this is actually deploying the roles in the target account, in the other account, right? So the secondary account, and it's setting up like that it trusts the first account, and it deploys a bunch of other additional things like assets and asset buckets and KMS keys and a whole lot of things, ECR repos, right? But I've already done this for like this account for EU Central 1, right? So I don't really know what the deal is and why is it failing. It should not fail. Well, the failure is actually not even reaching this account. The failure is within this thing, like it tries to deploy to the original account. I don't really know. I don't know why it's trying to do this. It should not try to do this. Trying to see if this CDK toolkit failed to describe stacks. CDK toolkit doesn't exist. The CDK toolkit doesn't exist in EU Central 1. That's fine, right? But it's not having. Maybe I have to have it in the same region as well, in the same account. That's interesting. That's something I need to test out. So if I do this, save, like that. No, oops, wait, save that. Perfect. Git status, git add, actually git commit, git push, like so. Let's see if this will work. So I currently don't have US, correct, apparently it's like that. It's a cross account, but not cross region, right? So I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe you cannot do a cross account, cross region thing. You have to have a thing in your account in the region you wish to do cross account from. I really don't know. Like, it's not described anywhere in the blog post. They don't mention that at all. And to be honest, I have not tried it out. This is the first time it's failing with this, right? When you first were bootstrapping the target environment, did you use the same profile of org account? Yes, I did, but I've used a different account. Not a different account. I've used a different region. I've used AP Southeast 1. So I used Sydney, and that worked for me when I was doing this on my own. So it's probably it's the Gaelic Gods problem. But he told me EU Central 1, and it's, yeah, shame on you. And I'm just kidding, by the way. So let me see what the pipeline is happening. Fingers crossed if this works. The synth in this case is just npm run build, right? So this is running npm run build, and it's expanding the thing. That's okay. If we go back, and let's see what's happening here. Installing AWS CDK deployment pipelines, that's fine. Failed. Cross-region stack. It's missing US East 1. Let me try to do this. So, I need the other CDK bootstrap. Did I do it here? This one, yes. So let's bootstrap the account again. So US East 1. Ooh. Sorry, zero repos, CDK pipelines, like that. So I'm bootstrapping the original account, the OG account, now with the US East 1. So yeah. It has a profile. It has a profile. So that's fine. But there's a profile. Like, there's an AWS CLI profile that I'm using here. The default one is for the 8th, 4th something account, and the stream profile is used for the other account, right? So, okay, it failed. Why did it fail? Ah, it's the broken thing. I know why. It's the initial command I ran, which is just not working. So let's try to make this work. That, let me do it like so, and then it's like is it, wait, I need to figure out, is that the correct, I am, anyways, yes, this looks fine. Okay, let's see. Also, AWS folks here, what's your wish list from reInvent? Is there something that you would like to see on reInvent coming up? Because reInvent is coming up pretty soon. At least in my head, it's pretty soon, because I have 2 talks for reInvent. I literally have to like get them recorded in the next couple of weeks. So it's it's crazy. Is there something you would like to see new from AWS on reInvent? I don't know what's coming out. Like, I literally don't know. It's those things they don't tell us until like the last moment, unless you're actually delivering a talk on something that's coming out, and I'm not. So yeah. Okay. Still spinning up. And this worked so nicely on my own when I did it first time, because of course it did. Let me. I'll play dumb here and just release the change again, hoping that this will finish by the time I need to do it. So, fingers crossed. Maybe something got deployed. Shouldn't. Really? Is this not gonna go through? Come on. Complete this, please. Otherwise it's gonna fail. Stop execution. Region EU West Balkan 1. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the closest thing to us in the Balkans now, I think it's Italy, right? Milano should be closest. If I recall correctly, most of the big data lines. Well, no, actually they go to Frankfurt. If I recall correctly, the data connections from Serbia to the internet go through Germany to Frankfurt. So Frankfurt is the closest. The Balkans would be probably like EU South 2 or something like that, EU Southeast. But that's really great. But nothing of the Balkans in the EU besides Croatia and, well, Bulgaria and Greece. Okay, well, wait. I'm completely wrong. I'm gonna retry this thing again as soon as this thing finishes. I was hoping this is gonna be faster than me. But yeah. I'm not sure if any regions are going to be announced. At least I don't know of any regions that are going to be announced at the reInvent. I don't think anything, because the regions are being announced usually beforehand. So regions are something that takes a long time to do. So you kind of just come to reInvent like, we're launching, you know, Antarctica 1 or something. Doesn't work that way. Cool. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's change. Oh, really hope this works. As I don't like to leave a stream broken, a thing that I don't finish in my stream. So I want to at least try to deploy to a different account, get my original intent here. But don't be so sure. Yeah. Okay. This is good. This is good. Let's see. I'm really crossing my fingers that this goes through. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to leave you guys hanging, right? So just like not trying to finish this, and not trying to do this until, you know, midnight. But I'm always happy to troubleshoot things online. Somebody today asked me. So I had this talk today on an event in Romania, and somebody asked me like, "Hey, you know, Darko, how do you learn?" I said, "I learn on stream." I explained them to if some of you have been part of that. I had a 4-part streaming series where I learned Terraform, and basically I just did that. Like I just jump on stream and try to learn. And the same thing is here. Like I don't know CDK pipelines too much. I've read the document. I've done it once. And I was hoping to explain to the audience here on Twitch and eventually YouTube what this actually is. So, but it takes a moment. But it's good. So one of the things I was thinking about to do, so for those of you who follow me on YouTube as well, basically I make YouTube videos out of every stream. I basically take the stream and convert it to a YouTube video. region lag remove context. Yeah, I know. Lag, man. Hey, it's eventual consistency. That's what it's called, Mr. Pentrexel. But one of the things that I was thinking about doing, instead of just getting my streams onto YouTube just like that, because not a lot of people like to sit through an hour and a half video or 2-hour video on YouTube and just watch it all. I do sometimes. I like some streamers that I like to watch for a long time. As just even some background noise. I just to enjoy it. But I don't think I'm so enjoyable to listen to. So one of the things I'm thinking about is doing streams like this where everybody just chatting with people and trying to build something, and then taking that knowledge, what I've done here, and condensing it into a 15-minute video, because I think people cannot have more attention than just like 15 minutes, right? So but yeah. Oh, I think this thing is deploying to EU Central 1 or US East 1. I'm not happy with this. This does not seem super promising. So, but we will see. Because if this would work, I would need a new thing here, but it does not seem to be changing this pipeline. No, okay. I'm not really sure what it's doing right now, so I'm really confused what is happening right now in my pipeline. What is it deploying and where is it deploying to? So it's currently still working fine, I guess, but I'm not sure what is it actually doing. Which pipeline is it updating? Okay, it did it in this region. Cross region, that's fine. Okay, change set. Okay, so what did it do in the other region? All right, it did something in the other region. Okay, perfectly. So it did S3 bucket, KMS keys. Okay, it did something in different regions. Support. See, this actually might be it. So it created something in US East 1. So if I go to CloudFormation, it created something in US East 1. It created a stack called CDK Pipelines that, okay, so that's a fair point. Ooh, okay, I need to put this, go back to my colleague Rico and tell him that he needs to put this as a note in the blog post, because this region needs to be bootstrapped for this to work. Okay, so that was the thing. Region, even in your own account, needs to be bootstrapped if you wish to deploy to the other region. At least with version 1, some type of bootstrap needs to exist. You don't need to use the latest bootstrap, but you need to use a bootstrap. Okay, very good to know. And now, excellent. Now it's actually changing my current stack. Okay, we figured it out. And the pipeline is going again. Look here, prod, amazing. And cross-region action. Woohoo, we're doing some cross-region action. And the cross-region action is going to actually deploy to a different account. So thank you. Yeah, I also learned a lot of new things. I found a bug in a blog post, and my Rico, if you're watching this, excellent job on the blog post. But like you, well, like myself, I will also have a problem where I have all of my accounts or all of my regions mostly bootstrapped, and just the one I didn't have. And thank you, Mr. Galagod, for pointing out this one. If you haven't chosen EU Central 1, I wouldn't have found this bug. So, bug bounty. Score, yeah. Okay, so It's supposed to deploy it. Well, no, it's currently still building. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, it has failed. Something has failed. What has failed? Hello, Novaviz. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Somebody asked me like, hey, can you do like streams on games? Like, can you stream games as well? I mean, like that would kind of defeat the purpose of my channel, because my channel is kind of like, people who follow me on Twitch here usually follow me for this kind of crap, not video games. Well, I do video game a lot. I need to make a separate channel for that if I'm gonna stream. And I suck at games. So. Reinvent theme, faster CDK CloudFormation execution. I wish. You know, Adrian, the reason the sample application for CDK is SQS and SNS because it's the fastest thing to create. So, yeah. Okay, it's currently updating the pipeline again. Novice, have you worked with CDK before? And I understand why you feel that way. I used to do CloudFormation a lot, right? And then somebody showed me this. Somebody went into CDK and told me, "Hey, Darko, you know, when you do things like, let me do it like that, EC2, AWS EC2. When you do something like, I don't know, const VPC, well, actually, my VPC equals new EC2.VPC, this and VPC, and it takes this much of code to create a VPC in CDK. This is what sold me on CDK, because if you have ever created a VPC in CloudFormation, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, I may have an example. It's pain. I don't have the example here. Let's go. Oh, I don't have it here, but yeah, it's pain. It's like 87 lines of code or something like that. A lot of lines of code. So, but CloudFormation was the only thing we had back then. Well, there was Terraform, but coming from AWS, the only thing that we had 2 years ago was CloudFormation, and I mean, it was doing its job. It was just a bit of it was an effort, right? And now with CDK, you feel very much somebody. I mean, I'm not sure who said this on my streams. Is like, oh, that's cheating, right? So yeah. Oh, what? Okay. Why did you fail? Request denied. Request denied. Why not start directly? Yeah, absolutely. That's my point. Start directly with CDK. If you are doing infrastructure as code right now, start with CDK. Don't think about it. Just start with CDK. People ask me, so hey, how should I start? You know, my infrastructure as code in CloudFormation. Don't do CloudFormation. I mean, unless you have never done CloudFormation before, don't do it. It will be a bigger pain for you to do it in CloudFormation right now than to do it like that. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like Novaviz says here. In those examples, of course, if you have already something in CloudFormation, a legacy workload, or something that's already existing in CloudFormation, it's difficult to transition, right? It's not just a matter of I'm gonna all of a sudden convert everything to CDK, because it doesn't work that way. So that can be a problem. But if you can start doing new templates in CDK and slowly migrating these things, that would be great. I think this is a problem, something with the bucket. 4.3 requests. Okay. I need to have a look at this thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, Novice, it matters because it's faster to do things in CDK. That's the thing. It does. Ask your business, Does it matter which language you write your application in? Ah, okay. I think I know what the problem is right now. I'll go here and I need to do one of these things. Where's my trust thing? It's here. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It has a lot of those integrations, and it's much more approachable than just vanilla CloudFormation. That's kind of a thing, right? So why is this thing failing? It doesn't have permissions to read something. So looking at this thing, it uses an account from the other account. Count here, count that one. This is odd. So using the other role in the other account, it has all the permissions, apparently. The file name is this one. The artifact is basically an artifact. Action creator thing. Oh boy. And we... Wondering what would be the appropriate thing here. I can delete everything and just try to from the start, right? That would work, right? If I do stop execution, stop and abort, there's no options. I can just refresh. Okay, let's try something. Let's go delete this. And let's go delete this. And let's go into the other account here. And I'm gonna do CloudFormation. Nothing here. So I'm gonna delete everything right now and I'm gonna try it once more. That's okay, it's all being deleted. Okay. Oh, I have something modified here. Yes, it does. It does all of those things for you, right? So it should do all of those things. So why is this different? Oh, I know why it's different, because I did some things like that, which I don't need to. Get status, nothing. Okay. CDK deploy. No, actually this one. CDK deploy profile default. This one. Let's try to do it again. So this will deploy everything from scratch, and we'll see if this works. If this doesn't work, I'm definitely going to leave it as such, because I will try to figure this out at some other stream, but it's been 2 hours already, and you know, it's 8 o'clock here, and I don't really want to waste anybody's time that much. Boo, okay. EU Central. Why EU? Where did you get EU Central, buddy? What? CDK out? Wait. RM, RF, CDK out. I'll let you know. No, I'm gonna figure it out on stream. That's the thing. I'm not gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and do it on stream, right? I just want to make sure that I do this properly. So, there's something here that I'm missing. Nope, this should be all fine. So CDK deploy. Actually, Vim, and then let's do exactly. Yeah, it deploys. It has some things there as well. So, oh, I know why it's complaining. npm run build. That's why. No, it's here. Here. It creates cross-region stacks. See, this is the thing. It creates 2 cross-region stacks. 2 or just 1? No, just 1. Yeah, just 1. Because it needs a dependency stack in the other region, apparently, which I didn't know. So, okay. So, Novas, CDK basically gives CloudFormation everything. So it's still CloudFormation. CDK doesn't have any other magic that it does it on itself. It literally relies on CloudFormation to do all of that. So it tells CloudFormation, hey, here's my stack, right? And please launch it. This is the CloudFormation template that I generate for you, right? So it will, in essence, generate CloudFormation templates and launch my stacks. That's it. So CDK is just a kind of a translation engine from JavaScript or Python or Java or C#, whatever, all the supported languages to CloudFormation. In essence, it generates CloudFormation at the end. So yeah, it created 2 supporting stacks for the, or actually a 1 supporting stack for the cross-region thing. So this should work. It's very odd. Again, this is also in preview. It's not a fully functioning thing, right? So that CDK out folder should actually be something like, if you go to CDK out, CDK out, there's a bunch of files here. So basically it defines like assets, like a template, the actual thing that it does, like a cross-region template as well, some additional things. So let's actually open up this one. So what is this? It's a manifest. It's basically this is saying what assets I'm going to be using, right? So this one is saying this is bootstrap stack, I think, or something. What is this doing? No, this is the stack itself. So this is the stack generated by CDK, right? So it generates 1,576 lines of JSON. Yeah, fun. So cross-region stack, this is the supporting stack for cross-region, right? So 200 lines of JSON, not bad. And just some additional things, which I don't know what they serve for. But this is what it generates, right? Yeah. CDK out is nothing. Cat CDK out. What is this? Just the version. That's fine. Okay. So that's what it does. I mean, in essence, it takes those things. If I would do like, hear me out. Like if I would do CDK synth, right, and just do it blah.txt, it will synthesize. Actually, well, no, go back, and then this. It will synthesize the template for me into a file called blah.txt, right? So if I vim blah.txt, I will have, well, no, actually this one will fill because it has multiple stacks. But if it was a single stack, it would basically synthesize that stack for me inside of that thing. CDK synth will do that. So CDK synth will fail here because, why? I think it will complain because I haven't, yeah, so stack ID, right? There's a bunch of different stacks. Or it's, oh, actually, okay, because it's using a new synthesis method, that's why. So it's using a new synthesis method, so it has synthesized all of that to CDK.out. That's how it works. In the old synthesis method, so I'm starting to get what this new thing is. In the old synthesis method, it would basically synthesize to the output, to the screen output. But with the new synthesis method, it puts it to CDK.out. So yeah, it's basically the Terraform plan. But instead of doing any Terraform thing, it just does CloudFormation. So, and always don't be sorry. I appreciate all the questions. That's why this stream is about. This stream is not about me yelling at you or screaming at the camera and the screen why this doesn't work. It's about us interacting. So any questions are welcome. So. Okay, so pipeline is here. Now once this pipeline is completed, it should kick off itself again and create a bunch of other things, I think. Yeah. So perfect, the pipeline is done. If I go to code pipeline and find the pipeline again, there we go, my source pipeline is happening here. Okay, we have pre-prod and prod. So it has actually created the entire thing right now because I've passed it in the entire stack. So it will not update itself because there's nothing to update. So it will just hopefully work. Now I'm gonna try this. If this works, it's amazing. If it doesn't work, next time, which most likely is gonna be tomorrow because I want to finish this week, I'm gonna jump on stream again roughly at the same time, and I'm gonna be doing going to fix this. There's also a few things that we can do, add like testing and like unit testing as well. Integration testing. So that's something we're gonna be doing. Is there a reason why something like app.deploy is missing? No. So you don't have to do app.deploy because if you look at, let's actually vim here. If you go to bin, and I basically have apps.synth, and that's sufficient, right? I don't even need apps.synth. I can completely remove this and it will still work, right? Well, should work because the default ones do not even require this and it should work, right? I think the app deploy and app synth are optional. They're not required, if I recall correctly, at least not on TypeScript. So, and I was able to, like my other applications that are running CDK, if I go to repos, let's find something. Let's go to code shots. I have something here like CDK lambda EFS, right? If you go here and look at my bin file, there is nothing. There's no app.synth, there is no app.deploy, nothing, and it works. It works this way perfectly. All right, okay, so updating pipeline, there should be nothing there. Assets. Pipeline deploying are the new, it's compiling excuses, right? Do not try to make your automation super fast. It's sometimes okay to give it a wait. See, in this cases, I could just turn around and play some video games if I wasn't streaming, right? While I'm waiting. That's why you should pick like small games that you can pick up and put down as much as you want. Okay, so assets are being set up right now, and let's see what pre-prod and prod. Pre-prod should be fine. Pre-prod is working. Okay, Adrian, that's a fair point. Now, I've been working with Ansible also. Ansible is basically built in Python. There's no way to directly do this with CDK, but if you have EC2 instances managed by AWS Systems Manager, right? You can create maintenance, so not a maintenance, a state that will execute Ansible code. So I don't have the example in CDK, but let me actually show you Systems Manager. So Systems Manager is a lovely tool, service, collection of services that does a bunch of things, and it's focused around operations. One of the things that it can do is execute commands, or basically execute automation documents. Those automation documents are basically playbooks. And if you look at one of those documents here, which exist on AWS, right? And one of these documents are apply Ansible playbooks. And what you do to this, you basically provide it with like a Git repo or even a file itself of an Ansible playbook. Like, see, playbook file, there we go. So you can pass it a relative file, for example, or a GitHub repository or something like that. And it will take down this playbook and run it on that instance. And if you set up like a state, it will run that playbook file every X, right? Every 30 minutes, for example. So you can do that with that, right? That's a really fair point. And hey, that's a really interesting thing I'm gonna make a video about. So thank you. That's a great suggestion. For those of you who do not know, I have a YouTube channel where besides just posting these videos there as well, I also do things such as I had a series of things called code shots, which is just me doing something stupidly simple relatively stupidly simple in CDK, and that's a great idea. So if I go to my YouTube channel and go to code shots, I apologize, my internet is horrible. So if I go here, you will see that I have a bunch of videos here on like how to do things like a lambda in EFS, autoscaling groups and EC2 user data, and also like app config and lambda. So thank you, Adrian. I'm gonna basically try to do the same thing for your current use case. That would be very interesting to do. Thank you for the idea. I'm gonna grab, and yeah, feel free to check out the video once I put it out. Okay, deploying to pre-prod. I really want to see if it's going to deploy to prod, or is it going to still complain about permissions? Because if it's complaining about permissions, something has to do with bootstrapping. Some bootstrap problems are happening. I just want to see how did I do the trust. I trusted account 1, that's fine, and I bootstrapped account 2. That's fine. All right. Also, Adrian, a long time ago, I've tried to integrate Ansible with EC2, and back then I was using the API. So I was using a Python Boto SDK, sorry, the AWS SDK to create instances with the SDK just bare. It was horrible. It was before CDK existed. And I wanted to basically use Python to spin up an instance and actually trigger Ansible. But I couldn't get it running, so it was way too complicated. And weirdly enough, I mean, Ansible is written in Python, and its Python API is just horrible. You can't just like trigger it any way you want it, so it's a bit more complex. I did use parameter store and secrets manager, absolutely, but triggers deploy or rotate tasks in ECS. It should not. No, it should not do that automatically, because basically the way you are doing, so if you're doing, so okay, Novice, explain to me how you are applying those things to your containers. Are you doing it through CloudFormation, or are the containers themselves querying parameter store or secrets manager? So then there's no need for you to rotate tasks. If the task itself, oh, through CloudFormation. Okay, so not the application itself in the container, but you're configuring that specific task definition through CloudFormation, right? Okay, so no, it will not do it because unless you make it so. So you can change the permission, right? So you can change the parameter or secret in secrets manager or parameter store, but then what you need to do is just run the update on the stack, right? That's it. So you just run the update without anything, not passing anything, just basically trigger the run update stack API, and the stack will actually detect that something has changed and do all of those things. So you don't have to explicitly change anything in the stack, just run the command. Now you can kind of cobble it together to make it work by using some automation or some lambda functions or whatever once you make a change. But by default, it doesn't notify CloudFormation that something has changed. No. But it's very important to understand those things. So if you're dealing with those kind of things, you need to automate also the deployment of your application again, or it is the change of task definitions. So Gilligan, and this is why it would be a better approach like NovaViz. Instead of calling the parameters from your applications, in order to restart everything, yeah, you can do that. CloudWatch events and all those things, that works, right? Instead of doing it from a container itself, because that way if you're calling it from a container, use things like parameter store and app config. App config gives you the ability to basically query things as configurations from your running application, right? And then you can kind of properly deploy those things as you should. And then if you wanted to change a task definition per se, not an application, then it would be better to do it through CloudFormation or CDK or whatever you're doing. And I know of you have missed this maybe, but let me actually show you something. And this is very, very cool. Where is it? So it's one of these things. It's pipeline. Yeah. Look at this. CDK in itself has this. Has the ability to read secret values from Secrets Manager. So directly built in. So you can do that. Again, but if I would change the secret in Secrets Manager, I would need to recreate this again. So, and I'm wondering, without exposing something here, parameters. Oh, I don't see that. Okay, so sorry, it didn't show up here on screen. ECS update service force. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can always update it. Force update it as well, but yeah. It strips it out. Yeah, no, it shows up in chat. Like I can see it in chat on the chat itself, but not on the chat here. But I see it right now. For some reason, it strips it. I don't know why. Okay, source is not the best string to search. Okay. Source. Aha. So it resolves it like this. So basically, yeah, this is when I do this in CDK, it tells it basically resolve from Secrets Manager this. So perfect. Okay, it has failed again. So permission issues, something broke. So I need to figure out what this is. I'm gonna clean everything up. I'm gonna destroy all the stacks, and if you want, join me tomorrow at roughly the same time. Again, I'm not sure what exactly time. I'm gonna share it on Twitter, and I'm gonna share it on Twitter and LinkedIn and wherever you can find me. I'm gonna share the information when I'm gonna stream to kind of get this fixed. So make sure to join. Let me just have a look at this. All clean, perfect. So let me get back to this thing. This is all being destroyed. Perfect. Thank you very much for enduring the 2.5 hours with me on stream. Even my monitor went off. So we tried to do something with CDK Pipelines. It worked to an extent. We were able to set up a pipeline, and the pipelines part of it actually perfectly works, right? The problem here was that there was an issue with me deploying things cross accounts, some error issues. So permissions and bootstrapping stuff, I don't know. Thank you everybody for being a part of chat. Like I got notified by Twitch that I got 100 messages on chat, so thank you. I like a talkative chat during my stream. So thank you all for the suggestions, and Gilligan, thank you for finding me helping me find the problem, the bug here. So I'm definitely going to report this to the blog author. So thank you very much. Cool. Once again, I wish you a nice evening. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Be on the lookout for the recording of the stream on YouTube. For the YouTube folks, this is already on YouTube. Thank you very much. My name has been Darko Mesaros, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.